News as we join you with continued coverage this afternoon. We're here at the Sheriff's Office. I'm standing by with Sheriff Lane Perry. And Sheriff Perry, we have great news this afternoon as Mr. Woods has now turned himself in.
Yes, we do. We want to thank the community for their support and involvement in this throughout the weekend. This stirred many families emotionally, either from the tragedy of loss of a loved one or just people who are concerned about what happened to those, to the individuals that passed on, and especially the infant. That always stirs emotion. But through that, the continued calls and everything, this morning we came to be in communications with family and an attorney. And about 12:15 today, Mr. Woods turned himself in here at the magistrate's office, and he's now in custody in Henry County Jail under no bond.
I know that there's certain details about how police work goes down that you can't share with us, but can you tell us a little bit about how this was orchestrated or how this came about?
It's just the continual pressure. That's the reason to thank the community so much, because I have a feeling that every way he turned, it was probably a paranoia of, is someone going to turn me in? People want to have control of a situation, and when you take that control away, when they think that anyone, the wrong person that sees them, oh, that'll be a phone call, and they don't want to be taken down in a capacity, thrown to the ground, or run the risk of being shot. So that puts a lot of pressure on, and also the fact that we did say that anyone found harboring him or assisting him in his avoiding our apprehension, we would charge them. That begins to put pressure on, and the community is regularly calling and giving information, and we're checking locations. It all just comes in together.
Can you comment at all on Wood's demeanor at the time that he turned himself in? What was his emotional state, or what did it seem to be?
Well, actually, that was, I wasn't personally present, but that was just a very brief time frame. He did turn in to magistrate. The charges were served, and there was an attorney present. There wasn't an interview or interrogation. He was taken over and booked, and he's in custody. So.
How does this compare with similar situations that you've dealt with in the past, or have you ever dealt with a situation quite like this?
I won't say that we've dealt with a situation with this much loss of life, but we've dealt with many situations involving the murders and people turning in. Sometimes we regularly hear comments like this. It is a common thing that when someone realizes they've done something, if it's through the weekend, a lot of times we regularly run into a situation where they want to speak with an attorney on Monday, have communications, talk to family, get some arrangements in order. Sometimes they turn in, sometimes they don't. So we was continuing everything as if he were not turning in. If at 11:15 we had run into him out somewhere on the street or hit the right location at that time, we would have been doing our normal response.
I realize you're not a judge and you're not an attorney, so I'm not asking you to give a professional legal opinion here, but just in general experience in dealing with these cases in the past, what kind of a difference does it make when someone voluntarily turns themselves in versus you having to hunt them down and apprehend them in a case like this?
Well, you have this terrible tragedy that occurred, but to me, in a small part, it is a statement of this happened. There has to be accountability for it. There has to be stepping up to accept responsibility for what took place. That's just a small statement of that. I mean, it does go in favor of the magistrate and some of the people when someone says, I can continue running, but this will eventually take place. Something happened that has been bad, and now we just need to start the road of repair, recovery, and starting to settle things down.
Have you had an opportunity to speak with the families of the victims? If so, how are they feeling? Are they relieved?
Actually, we did, in conjunction with notifying the media that he was now in custody, we did make phone calls to, we think we got the bulk of the immediate family, but some of the ones that I spoke to were very relieved and very thankful. And that's what we're glad that this part of the case, that obstacle has been overcome.
I know that Woods is in your custody now. What will happen to him from here?
Probably tomorrow morning he will go down for an arraignment. That probably should take place, and then it's just a matter of the court docket taking place for the preliminary hearing on the charges.
In this case, is it likely that he might be held outside of the jurisdiction given the emotion that surrounds this case?
We would have to know a reason for why that should take place. At this point, we don't know of a reason why he would not be as safe right here as he would at another place. It's normally when that comes into play, you're talking about multiple defendants or things like that. But if it comes to a point that someone can give a reasonable explanation as to why they need to be housed somewhere else, then we make that arrangement.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. We appreciate your help and cooperation in this, and congratulations.
Well, thank you. And then we are, one other thing that we're putting out in the press release is we don't have a conclusive preliminary autopsy report back yet, but because of our close communications with the state medical examiner's office, we had an investigator at the office yesterday for a good portion of the day, but Lamont Ward was the victim of several gunshot wounds. No one else in the car was a victim of a gunshot wound. So little by little, we're trying to give out what we can.
And of course, that will matter quite a bit when this all goes to trial as to what ultimately Woods is in fact charged with.
Right. Yes, it is. We can reveal the pieces and make sure that the statements are what they said they were, and go over everything one more time. Yes, you're right. It will. This is how the road map will go out in court.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. We appreciate it. And welcome back to Star News as we join you with continued coverage this afternoon. We're here
is Restaurant, Bar, and Grill, a unique dining experience in Uptown Martinsville, serving our area since 2000.